What's good, ladies and gents? Welcome back to MKO Pugilism, aka MKO Boxing, where we talk all things boxing. Remember to like and subscribe on YouTube, follow on TikTok. So let's get into this one. So, probably one of the best fights last night, if not the best, was the opener, which was between Joshua Buatsi defending his interim title versus Callum Smith. And yeah, this had all the right ingredients. Two guys that like to come forward, like to land their bombs, and two guys that are quite skilled fighters, but very aggressive fighters going into this. I thought going into it that Buatsi would be able to do enough to deal with Smith, beat him on points. But yeah, Callum Smith really did put in a fantastic shift, a great performance. And this is one of those fights that from beginning to end, all action, just pure action. Joshua Buatsi started off well. He kind of set about Smith, landing his combinations, and Smith would come back, and it kind of swung back and forth a bit. But I felt Joshua Buatsi slightly better work, not by any big margin. But as the rounds progressed, it just kept going back and forth. You would have Joshua Buatsi on top for one section, then you'd have Smith coming back, and it was one of these fights where even from the early stages the pattern was kind of set. And for me, I felt that Joshua Buatsi's mistake was lack of head movement and the fact that he was still there to be countered. So he would do some good work, but then he'd still be in the wheelhouse of Callum Smith. He'd still be sort of around in punching range to get hit back, and Callum Smith was the man sort of doing the better work all throughout the fight, whereas Buatsi was coming off second best for a lot of it. It was a slugfest, but Callum Smith was sort of the man that was landing the better shots, landing the big counter shots, and Joshua Buatsi was tough. He was resilient. He was able to take a lot of these shots. He did get hurt multiple times in the fight, and for me, the problem was that he seemed to have the strength and everything to do this, but he just didn't seem to really have the work rate, and there were just far too many spots and too many rounds where you had Callum Smith sort of working away and wailing away, landing good shots, and then Joshua Buatsi not really being able to counter the shots, but rather sort of reacting to the shots and kind of, as I said in the beginning, coming off second best. So it's like Smith will have his success, he'll reel off his combination, and then you'll have Buatsi there getting hit, and then staying in punching range again, and then trying to go after Smith. But the problem was Smith is he did get hurt by Buatsi, but Smith was a bit slicker, a bit more defensively responsible, moving away from shots with the lateral movement. And overall, it was a back and forth, but you could tell all throughout Smith was the one sort of doing the better work, the more accurate punching. And you could tell that Smith was more in his comfort zone than was Joshua Buatsi. So, and it ended up that way as well. But Buatsi had a good few rounds in the middle, but as I said, the predominant pattern was that Smith was going first and going last, and all Joshua Buatsi was trying to do was, as Johnny Nelson mentioned, that Buatsi's problem was he was not setting up the attacks. He was always reacting to what Smith was doing. So Smith was doing his damage and Joshua Buatsi was trying to react. And, because he was always on that front foot, he was always there to be hit by Callum Smith. And as the fight progressed, it just got kind of worse and worse for Buatsi. There was several times when you thought, whoa, he's going to go here, he's going to go down. But to his credit, he showed some incredible toughness, incredible resilience to take Smith's shots and then keep trying to come back. But again, it just wasn't enough. And in the end, Smith's hand got raised. Split decision in the end, but very, very good performance by Callum Smith. But again, he's going to even have to watch it, because You got guys like David Benavidez. You got the champions, and I think this was a great fight, but the levels in this fight were significantly below the guys at the main event. So Bivol, Beterbiev, they're several levels above these guys like Buatsi and Smith, but still made for a great fight. Yeah, they might be looking at David Benavidez next, because I think it's going to be a trilogy between Beterbiev and Bivol. So if that happens, then Callum Smith's not getting nowhere near either one of those guys. And the same goes for David Benavidez. So I think for me, that's probably the logical next fight is Benavidez versus Smith, or maybe you could throw in Smith with Anthony Yard, and then the winner of that can maybe fight for the title or fight Benavidez. So yeah, I thought Smith deserved a lot of credit for this one. It was a slugfest. It was a very, very good fight. We all enjoyed it, me and the family. So yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comment section, and until next time, MK Boxing, over and out.